You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is the programme called...
The Wonderful World of Wardini Books, Christmas edition.
Is it the
Not
Christmas
really.
edition?
I haven't
No.
got any Christmas books.
No,
I just thought I'd put that in there.
Do you like Christmas?
I love Christmas.
Same here. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It does get stressy, and you see people's behaviour change in the lead up to,
Yes.
and they get all antsy and stressed. But you put that on yourself, don't you? Really?
Yes, you do. I love the lead up more so than the day. I love the buzz and the excitement and the shoppers and the crowds. I just love that. Yeah. And then you get on the day. It's
Oh no, I love the day.
yeah.
Yeah, I do like it.
Do you have a roast? English roast?
No, we used to, but because Mum's in Mary Doyle,
Yes.
and we can't really get her out now, we
No.
have lunch at Mary Doyle, and it has changed my life.
Is it really?
Yeah, because I don't have to spend all morning cooking.
Oh, you don't
I
have-
can just sit about and drink margaritas and then go down to Mary Doyle.
You don't have your roast beef and Yorkshire pudding and...
No.
Nah.
We used to do a turkey. Gareth's very big on that. But
Yeah. Oh, well, there you
nah,
see.
don't have to now. It's great.
Traditions change, don't they?
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, change rapidly, overnight sometimes. Anyway, let's talk about good things. You've got 3 great books here, and the first one is called No Reading Aloud. You wouldn't like that one.
It's so much fun. It is the worst read-aloud book ever. It's a confusing collection of hilarious homonyms and sound-alike sentences. Do you like the alliteration in there?
Yes, I do.
It's by Raj Halder and Chris Carpenter, and the pictures are by Bryce Gladfelter.
If I knew what you just said, I would probably agree with you.
What? Okay, right. So it is just a collection of illustrated pictures.
I love them. Look at them.
So the first one is the hare came forth.
Yeah, look at that.
And there is a hare being picked from the meatballs. And then the hare came forth. So it's the same sentence.
Yes.
But in this one, it is the hare coming forth, as in rabbit-like hare,
Right.
coming forth in a race.
Yes, look at that.
Completely different meanings, same sounds.
Yes.
Yes. So
I love it.
Should I give you another example?
Yes, give me another alliteration of it.
They bowled in all caps. So there's some gentlemen bowling, like
Yes.
10-pin bowling, and they're all wearing caps. But that is the word they, and it is bold in all caps, as in capitals. Isn't it clever?
It is. I was just saying to someone a few weeks ago that the English language must be one of the hardest languages to learn, because when you look at the word bough, for instance,
Yeah.
the bough of a tree, the
Yes.
bow, bough, all the same spelling and sound,
Yes.
who would know what they mean?
So those are homonyms and homophones. Do you know those
No.
things? So if it's a homophone, I think that's the one that sounds the same but has a different meaning. And if
Yes.
it's a homonym, it's spelt the same but has a different meaning.
Wow.
I used to teach them, so I should
Yeah,
know
I
that
love
stuff. But oh, look at that! That's a good one. The barred man looted the establishment. So he's behind bars and
Yes.
he's looting. And then that's the barred man, a B-A-R-D. Da, da, da.
And he's looting. the
He's
establishment.
looting with his lute.
Yes, he is.
As in singing a song on his musical instrument. So
That is
he
a great
looted
book.
the establishment. The hero had supervision. Whoa! Superheroes with supervision, seeing lots of things. The hero had supervision. I don't get that one, Ken. There's
No.
a boy with a very long Subway sub sandwich. The hero had supervision. I don't know. Oh, he had supervision. Someone was looking after him.
Yes, that's right, because he was going to eat that all by himself and he's not allowed to.
Yes.
But that is a great book, and that I would suggest that's quite... an adult would get a lot out of that book.
Look at this one. Sorry, just one
That's
more.
all right.
Just one more. We see the Queen's burrow thanks to our ant hill. So a little boy looking into an ant farm, and they can see the Queen burrowing around. We see the Queen's burrow thanks to our ant hill.
Yes, look at that.
So they're going through Queensborough
Yes, with Ant Hill.
with Ant Hill.
Look at
Looking
that.
at the bridge, the Queensborough Bridge.
What a great book.
You can learn heaps of things, can't you? You
Yes.
could make up your own if you were clever enough. I don't think I can do
I
that.
could never do that, no.
Yeah,
I
but
couldn't
that's
even-
cool.
Yeah. How can you top that with a... But you could top it, I suppose, with a book called The Secret Life of Mr. Roos.
The
It looks like a
Secret
thriller.
Life of Mr. Newson. It's by Håkan Nesser, who is a Swedish crime writer,
I've
quite
heard
a
of him.
famous one. Yeah, and in this one, Mr. Roos has a really boring life. So he's got a job at a thermos factory. Sounds fascinating.
Where they make
doesn't
those
it?
things you drink out of. Thermos.
Yeah, he does
Yes.
the accounts, I think, and he's got a second marriage with 2 teenage stepdaughters who he doesn't have any connection with at all. They're just like wasters and
Yes.
as far as he's concerned.
It's a very English word, waster.
Wasters and scoundrels. And his wife Alice, who he's not really that bothered about. He's got a son somewhere from his first marriage to his dead first wife. And he's about 60 and he's just kind of grey and a bit, goes to work, comes home, has a nap at lunchtime, that kind of thing. And then, so for years and years and years, his dad did what we used to call the pools.
Yes.
Yeah, the football pools. And his dad had the same lines. And he passed that on to Mr. Roos, whose name is Valdemar. Anti-Valdemar Roos. And he's been doing the same lines for years and years. So, you know, this is now about half a century old, these numbers and these lines that they've been doing on the football pools. And bugger me if he doesn't win it.
Yeah, comes in.
And he wins, like, over £1 million kroner. Does he tell his wife? No. He quits his job because the wife and the stepdaughters barely know where he works and not interested, have never phoned him at work. So he feels quite safe in just quitting his job and buys this little hut in the forest because he's got this childhood memory that he's not sure if he's made up or not of walking in the woods with his father, and his father saying doesn't get any better than this. So he's always had that as his sort of goal. So he buys this little log cabin in the woods and he's just pretending to go to work and going there. Now the second bit of the plot is that there is a young woman who's about 21 I think, and she's in an addiction clinic after getting herself into some terrible problems. Really bad bloke who was abusive, and her mother's dobbed her into the cops, put her in this addiction clinic, and she's trying to go clean. But it's a terrible, terrible place, and she's run away. And she's going to end up at Mr. Roos's place by accident.
Cabin in the woods.
And there's a death.
Ooh.
So who done it, Ken?
Yeah, who done it? Was it Mr. Roos?
It's that kind of thing. But as you read it, you feel really sorry for this very sad and boring Mr. Roos, and then there are just these little clues that are just dropped into the plot that make you think, I wonder if Mr. Roos is actually all I thought he was.
Oh, right.
If he was just this innocent person. So there's all these little red herrings through the plot. Just things like he goes home and they're like, oh, how did you break your glasses? But we haven't heard anything about him breaking his glasses. But there was an incident in which a man in a car did something dodgy.
Ah, right. And wasn't Mr. Roos?
We don't know, do we? We don't know. So it's quite cool because you're just like, and you're trying to put all the clues together as you go along. So it's quite a procedural one as well as a thriller.
I already feel sorry for Mr. Roos because he said that his wife and his stepdaughter don't know where he worked.
Yeah.
So is it a good ending for Mr. Roos, or is that a spoiler?
That would be a spoiler.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, how fascinating. All these little bits that are coming together, and it is very sort of that Scandi noir, just gentle. It's a bit of a slow burner, you know, and he's done it deliberately so that you think that Mr. Roos is just this sad little character, and then you're like, oh, there's more to him than meets the eye.
Easy read?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, page turner?
Yeah, absolutely. But gently so.
Yes.
You know, it's not one of these eviscerated in the first 2 pages sort of nasty crime ones.
Tell us about Dot.
Dot is an absolute genius little book, and this is by Kieran E. Scott, and it's a little book to help anyone, big or small, take a moment and some nice deep breaths. Now, I think we're all agreed that 2020 has been a little bit of a strange year.
Thank God it's nearly over.
I know, I don't know what's going to change at midnight on the 31st, but there you go. But this one, I think anyone that's had any kind of experience with panic attacks or anxious moments and just needs a moment to take a breath, this just guides you through it. And it just says this book is for you. And then it has a dot. So you look at the dot and you focus yourself on the dot. And there's a dot for 3 or 4 pages. And then it just says, hello. And you can see how it is deliberately slowing you down.
Yes.
How are you? And then you think, oh, how the hell am I actually? Because normally we just go, fine.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Actually, are you okay? Or are you feeling a little bit or a lottle bit anxious?
Yes.
So you think, okay, I might be. And then it just, well, if you are, I'm here to help. And this little book actually is here to help. And it goes through very quietly and very calmly. Just look at me. This is the dot. So you just look at the dot and take your time. Just look at me. It will be fine. And it just slows you down. And I think it's a beautiful little gift for anyone that just needs to be slowed down, because we're just all the time. We're always on.
What a great idea for a book. Who would come up with that idea? Someone very clever, obviously.
Kieran E. Scott. I wonder what we know about him. Let me see if it tells us anything about the author. Is a New Zealand photographer who accidentally wrote a children's book.
Look at that.
And that's all he has to say.
Yep, look at the dot.
I think it's for grown-ups too.
Absolutely right. All right, and if we want any of these fabulous books, where do we get them?
Let's go to Wardini Books. It's 16 Tomato Road, Havelock North, 44 Hastings Street, Napier.
As always, my pleasure. You look after yourself. Till we talk again.
Yeah.